Now, what do we really want to cover as an end result? So at the end of the session, what you will really know is that how do you take an outside in view of your customer relationships and help your customers achieve that financial freedom that they aim for and aspire for? How do you enable them with the right advice? How do you engage with them at the right moments in their journey with you and at key events in their lifetime? And how do you empower them with the right information so that they can take financial decisions that are right for them? So there is, of course, tech behind this entire concept. But before we dive into the tech, I really want to speak about what does financial freedom or financial empowerment mean for a customer, and how do organizations like Salesforce help you enable that for your customers? So in the next 15 minutes, we're going to conceptually talk about financial well-being. Why is it difficult for banks or financial services organizations today to enable it, uh, to enable that for their customers? How do you bridge that gap? And finally, what's the tech behind this concept? Now, what's financial well-being? Financial well-being refers to the state of having control over one's financial situation and having the ability to manage financial resources effectively to achieve one's goals and aspiration. Now, I've read through the definition of what financial well-being is, which means that I, as a customer, when I share my money with you, when I trust you as a financial services organization or a fintech or a bank with my money, I expect freedom, I expect peace of mind, I expect that my money grows. And all that can happen if you, as a financial organization, manage my money for me. Yes, one, but you also advise me or give me recommendations basis on at which stage of my life am I, what are my financial goals, and I get the right advice based on my financial behavior. And that's what is a very, very important component of financial well-being, which somehow gets missed out when we as organizations take an inside out view of the customer. So, as a customer, my expectation, and I'm taking an example of a bank here, if my bank could help me meet my financial obligations, it could help me manage my money better, it could help me meet my future goals. So, these are my expectations from a bank that I work with. But usually, the advice that comes to me from a bank or financial organization is basis on my, let's say, a CIBIL report or my portfolio with the bank, and also some internal business priorities. I get a home loan offer or I get a credit card offer, and it may or may not necessarily align with my financial goals. Right. And that is where the gap between, while the slide mentions a bank, it could be any financial services organizations that I'm trusting my money with. So why is there a gap between what the customer expects and what the bank is offering me? It is simply because of the fact that in large organization or small organizations, the data of your customers resides in multiple systems. Now, it could be that's the way your organization operates. Maybe, it's just simply the regulations under which the financial services industries operate. But there is a huge delta between what data signals, explicit or implicit, the customer is sharing with you and what you are making use of when you give a recommendation to the client. And it usually happens because while the data exists, there's no dearth of data. The data is pretty siloed as far as an organization is concerned, and it just impedes financial well-being of a customer. Now, let's see how an organization like Salesforce can help your clients. I'll convey this concept through a very small journey. The person in question, or the persona that we've taken here, is of a, let's say, a fictitious bank here called Cumulus, and Rama is a Cumulus Bank customer. Uh, as a bank, you know the demographics of her age, maybe you know what her income is and what's her family like. And the key challenges that Rama faces today is that she finds it hard to manage her finances. She typically relies on advice from friends and family on where to invest her money. And she also has some goals which you may or may not be aware of. As a bank, you are aware, like I said, of the portfolio she holds with you and some sort of a demographic details. Now, Cumulus knows Rama, but does it really know Rama? And it is because, like I said just a few minutes back, data about Rama is housed in multiple systems. Let's say Rama has credit card with Cumulus, and that credit card organization or the LOB that handles credit card has data in a particular system. And then there is, of course, issues that Rama has raised, and that data sits with the customer service organization. And then there is a relationship manager assigned to Rama. So like I said, data is not a problem. You have the transaction data, you have the behavior data. Somebody from the marketing team is running campaigns and Rama is receiving communication either on email or on WhatsApp, and you have the engagement data as well. But yes, you're not, as a bank, not able to connect the dots. Now, imagine a situation where, in spite of data being housed in so many different systems, you are able to connect these dots and derive insights on it. So, when you have the transaction data and you have the credit card spend and you have the investment data all work together and build a unified profile of Rama, you could derive so many things. You could understand the financial literacy of Rama. You can understand her engagement. You can understand whether she's eager to learn about new financial products or not. And that is what Salesforce enables you to do. Salesforce enables you to connect these dots about Rama so that you can derive the right insights, and then the recommendations are based on these right insights, which then help Rama plan her finances. So once you have this data in place, the entire narrative that I've told you about giving personalized advice to Rama, the key word here is personalization. That once I've connected the dots, I understand her behavior, I understand her goals, and that's the recommendations or advice that go to Rama from Cumulus. Now, let's say we connected the dots for Rama, all the information that you just saw on the slide, which is transaction behavior. So the first thing Cumulus does to proceed in the journey of making her uh, financially independent or having financial well-being as a key theme driven from the bank is that they look at Rama's portfolio in totality, and the insight that the bank is able to derive from the data is that she needs to, they see a decline in her savings to income ratio. And then it is not a home loan offer or a credit card offer that is going to Rama. A very tailored, personalized advice on how can she improve her savings is what is sent out to her. Now, what you see on the screen is a very, very personalized recommendation to Rama that goes out, which is about financial advisory. And let's say Rama avails that financial advisory. The next step is very contextual and journey driven. And Cumulus wants to know more about Rama so that the financial advice can be tailored according to the goals Rama has set for her. So one is, you've analyzed her portfolio as Cumulus. Cumulus has looked at all the data points, and there is a view that Cumulus has built for her, which is not LOB driven, which is not driven by a goal from the bank, but it is really focused on her financial well-being. The other input to enhance this advice is ask Rama about her financial goals, because she has clicked on the financial advisory communication that has gone to her. So once Rama shares her goals with Cumulus Bank, The next set of recommendations, which we call as next best actions, are tailored to the input that have come from Rama, which is how does she optimize her credit card spend, how does she save more, and the recommendations that are given out to her are auto sweep facility and a smart investment product. And over a period of time, let's say the discretionary spend of Rama decreases. That's again something that is being analyzed in Salesforce at backend, and non-discretionary spend, and there is a healthy ratio between that. Now, this is one advice that is going out to Rama on digital channels. What if Rama is not consuming the advice there and she's assigned a relationship manager? So typically in a bank like Cumulus, there are multiple touch points at which the customers interact with the bank. Now, a customer could be calling the call center, they can come onto the website, or they can just pick up the phone and call the relationship manager. A typical scenario is that the view that I started with, the service center versus the RM versus the web or app, might have multiple messaging going out to the customer or Rama in this question. Now, here, what you see on the screen is Sailesh, who's a relationship manager, and his entire KRA or goal is, of course, to meet the targets of the bank, but also to help make his customers make informed financial decisions. Now, the challenges for Sailesh here as an RM in a typical scenario would be that he's probably accessing multiple systems to pull that information together, or he doesn't have the latest context of the kind of financial products customers are looking at. In this case, because data is centralized, we've connected the dots, we've taken inputs from Rama, we've monitored how she's engaging with the financial advice. There is a single view of Rama that is made available to the relationship manager, which is Sailesh here. So right from her demographics to her recent financial behavior, to transactions, to engagements, everything is made available to Sailesh in a single pane that he accesses. And most importantly, the next best actions that are recommended to Rama on the app or the communication that has gone out to her, that the similar recommendations reflect on Sailish's Sailish's front end as well. Now, this front end for us obviously is the Salesforce Financial Services Cloud with the relationship managers access and make sure that they are managing their uh, wealth advisory, their relationships with the client. So what you see on the screen is, like I said, the next best action that were previously communicated to Rama, and the auto sweep functionality is now made. The recommendation of auto sweep functionality is also made available to Sailesh here. So what has changed in this entire scenario? There is just a pivot to how Cumulus looks at the relationship with Rama, what the bank has to offer versus what Rama really needs. It is just a shift in perspective. There was a siloed view of Rama, which every department had, which every LOB had. A marketing department had a different recommendation going out versus Sailesh had a different recommendation for Rama. But now, since we joined the dots, we consolidated the view of Rama across the bank, it's consistent. Moving from a one size fits all communication to tailored financial advice, multiple promotions to prioritized offers. So that's what's changed when you bring data together from multiple systems. Now, how do you really do that? So we covered the concept of financial well-being, we covered Rama's perspective, we covered Sailesh's perspective, and how the narrative pivoted from what Cumulus has to offer versus to what Rama really needs. How do we do that at Salesforce? The brain behind this entire function is Data Cloud. What does Data Cloud do? I'll read this slide from left to right. Data Cloud helps you ingest data from multiple systems within your organizations. And it could be Salesforce systems, it could be non-Salesforce systems like cloud storages, like data lakes and data warehouses, like your websites and apps, which are uh, which have multiple millions of signals of, when customers are browsing. It could be legacy systems, and it can also be unstructured data, which now in a typical organization is 70% of data. So once you have multiple data sources, you've identified those sources, you leverage the out of the box connectors of Salesforce Data Cloud, or you leverage our zero copy partner network and the concept that we call as bring your own lake. You have APIs both to bring in real-time data and batch data. So with this, you build or connect siloed data within the organization. The next step is to harmonize or transform that data so that, for example, Rama was identified as a contact in CRM, but a subscriber in the marketing system. Everything gets mapped to an individual, and that's how you build an operational profile or single source of truth for your customers, Rama, in this context. Once you have the single source of truth in place, there are multiple things that you can do with that data. You can write insights and derive behavioral insights or transactional insights, for example, a lifetime value or an engagement score or a propensity to subscribe to another product. Or your marketing teams can segment data and make sure that customers exhibiting similar behavior get certain communication. Customers who are probably have a pre-approved offer of a home loan, but their recent affinity shows credit card. You segment those customers and offer them personalized communication. Or you want to just simply report on trends and want to leverage a Tableau to see where the business is coming from, or what's the customer behavior in a particular region. So right from segmentation to insights, and now running agents on or automating your functions, leveraging agent force is another activation mechanism for data cloud. So from data ingestion to activation, this is a unified platform that helps you do it all. Now, if I take a view of how did we leverage data cloud, or how did Cumulus Bank leverage data cloud to give that financial advice to Rama, this is what the view looks like. Savings account, credit account, investments, all these data sources with multiple attributes coming from multiple systems get ingested in data cloud. The data is unified. You write insights on that data, you segment the data, and then you activate the data. So in the previous slide, you saw a conceptual view of data cloud. What you see on the screen now is the data cloud working exactly for Cumulus Bank in terms of their data attributes and insights. So with this, I come to the end of my session. How does Cumulus in the end benefit from data cloud is, like I began my conversation with it. It has this, what you see on the screen is a unified view of the customer in a single pane, right from an RM to a service organization to, let's say, a branch manager, can see how customers are behaving, what's their um, transactional behavior, what's their affinity, what's their engagement score, and ensure that the customer experience is contextual and tailored at every touch point. And that's possible